one of the biggest things that came out, what was it, yesterday? I believe yesterday, was a legitimate question that came up in an interview with Jason Tatum earlier. And that was, what makes a superstar? Who is a superstar in that aspect? Jason Tatum was on the podcast with Taylor Rooks, another reporter, another journalist, and they were talking together. And essentially, the topic came up of Damian Lillard. Is Damian Lillard an all-star? Or rather, is Damian Lillard a superstar? And I'm going to play you this. Here's exactly what was said.
Is Kyrie Irving a superstar?
Yes, Kyrie is.
So, okay.
Do you want me to say what I think about you?
I agree.
Okay.
But then, is Damian Lillard a superstar?
I think that Damian has all of the superstar qualities, but it's hard to put him in this moment because of he just needs a little more. But obviously he has that in him.
Needs a little more.
I mean, he's got to win. He's got to get there. Like that. To me, that's some of it.
So I think championships matter.
Now, first off, let's get this out the way right now. They're absolutely stupid. I don't care if she's a reporter and he's a player. He's absolutely stupid. Damian Lillard, Rookie of the Year in 2013, 6-time All-Star, 6-time All-NBA, made All-Rookie team, made it to the NBA top 75 team of all time, averaged 24-7 this year. He's averaged 24-6 his entire career. Say what you want about the All-75 team. I don't agree with the list, but the fact that he was considered for it should say something. The fact that he was put on it, whether I like it or not, should say something about his ability as a player. Here's the thing about Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard came into the league as a baller. At one time was considered, I believe, a top 3-point guard in the league. There were even talks of him versus Steph in a good couple circles as to who's the best point guard in the NBA. He's been on par with Russ. He's been on par with Russ in his prime in terms of competing. He's been on par with Steph in his prime in terms of competing. I'm not saying he's reached that level. I'm not saying he's better than them. Don't get it twisted. Don't be jumping at me now. But in terms of having his name in the hat as he's about that life. He's that dog. He's been there. He's been there. We've called him one of the more clutch players in the NBA. We've seen him go for spurts. We've seen him have incredible performances consistently. The one gripe about him is that he doesn't have a team. We have said on countless occasions, on this show, this will be the first time you'll be hearing this, but if you go on public forums, if you could just have basketball talk in general, if Damian Lillard was on a better team, he would have so much more success. We know that religiously. Are we going to call Ja a superstar right now, even though he hasn't won anything either? Even though he hasn't done more? Didn't he lose to the Warriors? Yet he had an individually great performance. And we're jumping on him as, one of the big young stars. Some people already put him in the superstar caliber status. But we ain't putting Damian Lillard in there. A man who for the past 8 years, however many years he's been in the league, since 2012, 2013, has shown his mettle, has fought for the spot of best point guard in the league, has been elite, has been an elite closer, has averaged 30 in a season, has been one of the better offensive talents at the point guard position that the NBA has seen, has drug his team through the playoffs when they don't have anybody, has put up with horrible management, has put up with a horrible team being put around him, has put up with constant ineptitude and constant, outside of CJ McCollum when they were together, has put up with a team that consistently falters. Remember when that report, when Damian Lillard, when it was leaked, that Damian Lillard said, I wanted to trade. Even though he came back and said, oh no, I never said that. When that happened, that right there happened. That's what happened when Damian Lillard, when that report came out. The NBA world blew up. And you heard this. This is exactly what you heard. The NBA world cheering, hollering, jumping up and down. Because we were like, Damian Lillard is going to finally get out of a bad position and get put in a position to actually win not just games, but have a shot at a title. Let's say hypothetically right now he was a free agent. Any team that he would be the hot outside of Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. He will be the hottest free agent in the NBA today. Bar none. Bar none. Unequivocally. If he went to the Lakers instead of Russell Westbrook, would that not be considered a big three? Would he not be considered a superstar joining two other superstars? Would that not be the case? Any team that he went to, he would be one of the biggest moves of that year. That's fully understood. Because wherever he goes, with his talent, coupled with, again, any other player, phenomenal. Daymond Little has done everything you would want a superstar to be. It doesn't have to be just like there's tiers from bad players to good players to great players to elite players. Once you reach that elite echelon of superstar status, there can still be tiers of superstars from high to low. That doesn't make them not a superstar. That just makes them not as great of a superstar as somebody else, but you're still a superstar. You can, if you want to put Damian Lillard on that lower tier of superstars, okay, cool. Guess what? He's still a superstar. And if you want, again, like Rook said in that interview, you have to win. Win what? Is it win a championship? Is it have winning seasons? Because if that's the case, then we can call Rudy Gobert a superstar if you want to. You know how many years he had the best record he's had a couple years of the best record in the league, multiple years of best record in the West, the hardest conference, in basketball. Is he a superstar? No, you wouldn't call him a superstar. You call him a star. You can't just put winning as everything. And then if you're going to put winning as everything, what are we winning to have to put me as a superstar? Is it games or is it championships? So what the world? What is it? What's the criteria? I don't care if you're a player. I don't care if you're a fan. If you're going to say stuff like that, you better come not asking questions. You better come spitting facts about what the word of definition is. Don't be making it vague, trying to throw people under the bus. There's got to be some sort of legitimate, concrete standard that you put in so that you can say whether somebody's a superstar or not. Humbly, I submit to you, the viewer or the listener, a way to gauge what a superstar should be. Have a superstar is somebody who is in the elite of the elite and in the top 15 of players. If you want to expand into the top 20, cool. Cool. I won't be mad. But if you're in the top 15 of talents in the NBA, as a player who clearly far and away, few touch your skill level within the league, then you should be considered a superstar. Accolades and awards, all that stuff helps contribute to where you are within that superstar status. But just because you don't have it, or just because you don't have an MVP, just because you don't have a title, shouldn't mean that you are not considered a superstar. Superstar is somebody who's a transcendent player, my opinion, within the top 15. If you want to expand it to the top 20, I'm not mad at you. And clearly shows that he is a difference maker. I'm talking about you can clearly see that there is a unequivocal difference in his ability to play outside of anybody else in the league. Very few reach his level. And from that point, you're able to gauge either A, if he was on a good team, he will put them in title contention, or turn that franchise around entirely into just being borderline good to being potentially on the road to a championship, or B, he's on a championship caliber team and he's producing at a elite high rate. That's what I would call a superstar. With Damian Lillard averaging 30, averaging 28 and 6, one of the best offensive players in the league, one of the most dangerous microwave players in the NBA, a top point guard in the NBA. If he went on any team that had championship aspirations in terms of making moves that actually make sense and putting a team around him that he was, again, fit to win with, we would be calling him a superstar. Because that production coupled with a great team builds success. And if we're asking him to leave so that he can actually win, that should tell you that he's automatically a superstar. Because we would just be saying, oh, he's a good player. We would just be saying he's a good player. We will be putting him in the same category as Bradley Beal. And for Bradley Beal, what are we saying about him? Phenomenal player. Again, one of the greatest scorers in the NBA right now. But plays with a horrible team. Took the money. I don't blame him. But we want him to leave because we know if he went and complimented another superstar that was better than him with a great team around him, oh, that would be lethal. But the difference between Beal and Dame is that Beal is contingent on not being the best player on his team, being the complementary star. Dame can be both the guy and the complementary star. And that team wins. That's what makes him so deadly. A great team with him as either the complementary guy or the main guy with an elite complementary piece. And I'm not talking about CJ McCollum, even though I love him. I'm talking about a legitimate big as a complementary piece to him being the best player on the team. He can take that team places. He can do some real damage. As a secondary piece and the second best player on an elite team, complementing the best player, it would be lethal. Imagine him on the Nuggets as the second best player to Jokic. It wouldn't make him any less of a superstar, but it would put Jokic's aspirations of a championship through the roof. Having an even better caliber offensive player than Jamal Murray, coupled with Michael Porter Jr., It'll be great. Again, put him on the Lakers. What happens? Boom, title contention. Doesn't make him any less of a superstar just because he's not the guy. The effect that he has changes the entire outlook of that team. That's a superstar if I've ever heard one.